what happens when it's your family? And so for me, I guess in a way, I don't think that they fully knew me before.
Yeah.
And now I'm more open, but now I'm also not the person that I was before.
Yeah.
So everybody has these assumptions and they want to help, but it's like I'm going through a lot of transition and I try to be open and say I have dips and I have sadness and whatever, but then I have lots of happiness. But everybody is just constant like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, don't talk to me if you're going to ask me if I'm okay. Tell me something good in your life. Tell me something positive. And then people either want to talk about the things that could be deemed as negative and or only talk about the negative things in their life.
Yeah.
And so I said recently, this is what I need. I need to talk about anything else, but I don't know if there's anything else that I could do, but when it's your family, you can't really cut them all out. I mean, you could, but that's not really my option.
What happens is, kind of like Dave was saying, the relationships themselves actually change. So many of our families, and this is what Janice is alluding to, many of our families and friendships, relationships are based on trying to fix something. Okay? So let's draw this out. So here's somebody, and here's somebody else. And the role is, I've got to fix you. And if I've got to fix you or I've got to make you better, what does that inherently mean about this person? That they're wrong, right? And the more you do this work, and like we said, we haven't talked yet about vibration in detail, and that's okay. The more you do this work, and this is where Courtney's sitting, she's realizing she's not wrong, she's just trying to see how she feels and be there. She doesn't need this kind of relationship anymore, fixing or making it better. And the bottom line too, and this is what a lot of these conversations have revolved around, is we have a society, nothing wrong with this, we have a society that really gets hot and loves it. Talk about what's going bad. Talk about what's going wrong. Did you see the snowplow today? Did you see this? Did you see? That's what we like to talk about. Rather than, do you know it's -3 degrees outside and it's really beautiful and sunny? Do you hear the difference? But we are all trained that this is the automatic conversation. So because that's the automatic conversation, like Tracy was saying, it's about bringing more awareness prior. And to answer your question, what will have to happen over a short, well, actually they're saying over a longer period of time, but it's going to start short, is when you start to see them differently. Does that make sense? So when you as the daughter or the sister or whatever, start to see them as whole and complete, and if they're saying, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, kind of like we coached Janice, rather than, there's nothing wrong, leave me alone, which I understand why you're saying that, I would say something different like, you know what, let's talk about problems between 1 o'clock and 1:10 p.m. Right now, we're going to go outside and enjoy the snow. Right now, we're going to go have some fun. And you know what? And then they'll realize once 12:59 hits, you're up here having fun, then there's nothing to talk about. Got it? But you have to distract them first. And I had the same occurrence. My brother was just visiting, and our whole relationship is about, prior, had been about, you know, let's micromanage each other's lives. What's going wrong in your life? What's going on in our sister's lives? Let's try to fix them. And this visit that just happened right after teacher training, I decided, you know what? We're not going to have that relationship. We're just not. We're not. If the path goes there, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to change the conversation. So it was really interesting when he came to visit for 4 days, we didn't talk that much. You want to go to the gym? Sure. You want to go to yoga? Sure. How's work? Good. You know, it was very brief conversations, but we didn't end up in this momentum. I don't think he knew what to make of me, right? Because the conversations were so short. And it wasn't about being rude. It was just, I don't want to go where you're going, right? And I would work on distracting him, and he would get distracted quite easily. So it wasn't that hard. Because it's Vancouver, he doesn't live here. It's like, oh. And it takes, but what it took me was I had just come out of teacher training with these guys, so I was actually pretty high. And it took me swearing to myself that I wasn't going to go back into making him wrong or anybody wrong, and just see it with love. And just love, and just love, and just love, and let the pieces fall where they are. There were many times I stuck my headphones in, you know? And it was just, I love you, what you're up to, let's go and go do this. Does that make sense? And so it does take some time, both short-term and long-term, but when they ask you, you know, right now you've already laid the groundwork. That's what I keep hearing. You've laid the groundwork. You've said, I don't want to talk about what's wrong. And maybe leave the groundwork a bit more structured. I keep seeing, like, when you call, I just want to talk about what's great in the world. I just want to talk about how good I'm feeling and where I'm going. And have that as groundwork rather than talk about what's wrong. And at first, they won't know what to make of you because, like Ingrid was saying, the old relationship is still here. But over time, a short period of time, they'll go, okay, she doesn't want to talk about it. But she knows how she feels. And they're also used to you not being as emotional. They're used to you being more blunted. So they don't know what to make of you when you go down because they don't know how to deal with that. But they're also not used to seeing up here. They're like, who is that person? Right? So you teach them that this is normal. And I'm learning to stay up here more and it's really fun, but this is okay because this is just contrast. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I keep trying to remember that this is me working through it. And so if I forget and start spiraling on negative things, then they just join in. And so it gets really big really quick.
They've practiced
And then
it.
I'm like, no,
Yes.
stop. It's too hard enough not to do it on my own. And so, yeah. But I think I just keep reminding myself, I guess, to almost ask for what I do want instead of what I don't want.
Exactly, and that's key. That's key. Sometimes I keep seeing a picture. Sometimes it does take you pulling back a bit and creating more space and not making it wrong that the relationships are changing.
Right.
Because it's not that they're changing. I keep hearing the word they're evolving. They're becoming more, but most of us don't have that experience. That our family relationships change, our parents' relationships change. They're just status. 18 years old, they're just the same, right? And if you're going to do this type of work, you want to evolve, you want to shift, and that's what you're talking about.